Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we're honored to have both individual, organization, and even nonprofit too. So we are joined by Antonio Taylor. He's the marketing chair for SIM Memphis. So we'll talk all about SIM Memphis. He's also the director of technical services with Transnetyx, which is a City Current partner. And so, Antonio, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So before we talk about SIM Memphis, let's start with Transnetyx. So give us a little bit of background on Transnetyx.
So Transnetyx is a genotyping company here in Cordova, founded in the year 2000. It's a little small spot in Cordova that a lot of people don't know about. But when we do genotyping, we're trying to do our best to make sure we help researchers find cures for some of our commonly known diseases, and also kind of cut down on the time it takes to kind of do their studies and their research. So we're actually happy and proud to be a part of the educational community that's trying to make a difference in the world.
And I think that's the cool thing is you, as you alluded to, you kind of fly under the radar. You don't realize what a gem we have right here in our own backyard in terms of helping the science community really advance quickly and the genotyping and just the cool stuff you do. So talk about kind of that ripple effect that you're able to create in the larger community when it comes to just the work you do at Transnetyx.
Well, because we are a biotech company that's pretty high tech, there's so many different areas that we have the opportunity to expand somebody's knowledge of what they want to do, whether it is working in a lab full of robotics or where it's working on the science side. You know, we've been able to introduce, you know, there are a lot of people who go into science, but everybody doesn't want to be a doctor, right? And so we're kind of opening up those doors to say, hey, you can still work with the St. Jude's and the UCLA's and all these different organizations that are doing tremendous research in our community without actually having to go through the whole medical school route and things of that nature. So it provides a different perspective on things, gives people a different opportunity about what we do. And like I said, it's something that's doing good cause in the world, and who doesn't want to help, you know, somebody. We've all been experienced somebody who's lost a loved one or lost a loved one ourselves to these diseases that just have no cure. So it's your way of giving back to society in an, informal way, and trying to help, families live longer and spend more time with their loved ones.
This will lead us to the conversation around SIM Memphis, but talk about your role as Director of Technical Services. So talk about your specific role, and then we'll lead into SIM Memphis.
So as a Director of Technical Services, I'm responsible for the end user support side of the house, networking, telecom, security, and infrastructure. So your laptops, your servers, your standard, day-to-day operation, your telephone, your cloud, right? And we wrap all that around security, which is what's high on everybody's list these days, and making sure that we get protected. So we have about 185 users. We're a global organization. And so we have to do our due diligence to make sure we're protected and make sure that we're able to give our employees the best opportunity to be a success out there in the world.
And so, as I mentioned, you're the marketing chair for SIM Memphis. Talk about overall SIM Memphis. So one, what does SIM stand for? And then give us a little bit of the background on SIM Memphis.
So SIM stands for Society of Information Management. And SIM Memphis is, so SIM is national. There's a national brand there. And so SIM Memphis is one of the few organizations that has a local chapter, right? And what we basically are, we're a bunch of IT leaders in the Memphis space who come together and just kind of come up with strategic ideas, brainstorm with one another about initiatives that we're all dealing with. All of us are dealing with the same thing, no matter if you work in media, if you work in education, or if you work in biotech, right? Security and IT, they pretty much are, they're universal language. And so when we get together, we kind of talk about ideas, talk about things. But one of the things that interested me most about SIM is the outreach and the opportunities that we're looking for to reach out and help build up the community through STEM initiatives, and making sure that we're able to kind of get out there and be at the forefront of technology and make people realize that technology is kind of fun, right? I say in today's world, it's all about video games and how that whole trend came with cell phones and things of that nature. Everybody's a tech now, whether you want to be or not. You're pretty much a techie, right? And so instead of you playing on your phone all day or doing TikTok videos, which I have no problem with that, why not make a career out of it, right? Why not get an opportunity to come in and say, hey, you know what, I do what I love for a living, so it doesn't feel like work. And so we're excited to be a part of that in SIM Memphis and trying to bring some positivity to Memphis and what we do as a city here. And just like I said, try to show people that there's an opportunity here for anybody who's looking for it.
And I think it goes back to something you said too about just the medical industry. Is it's one thing to go down the path of being a doctor, but to be able to open up the eyes of the youth and say, wait a second, there's so much more. When you talk about science and the field of medicine, you can step into this world like with Transnetyx and using innovation and technology to play a pivotal role in curing diseases. And so I think, just opening the mind on all these different opportunities. And like you said, realizing that technology is so rapidly evolving that the things that the youth are learning now can be very different 5-10 years down the road, but being able to step into that world. Talk about kind of how that works in terms of the mentorship and some of the events, and how does that start to manifest reaching out and connecting with the youth?
So we already had some great partnerships that we formed over the years with DeSoto County Schools, Shelby County Schools, Memphis Public Library, Boys and Girls Club, Tech 901, things of that nature. And so we've already been out there kind of giving out some, resources, funding to a lot of these organizations that we've identified with robotics and teen tech camps, which are a lot of things that we do in the summertime. I believe we've contributed over $500,000 to these outreaches. And so everything is about partnership. Everything is about networking. So when we get engaged with people who are in these organizations or know about these organizations, we kind of get in touch with them and find out, hey, what are some needs? And it just, and quite honestly, when you see these kids show up with these robots and they're driving them around, you're like, I got to support this even more. And so we've been having some great partnerships over the years, and we've actually seen the work. COVID shut a lot of that down for 2 years. And so we weren't able to get out as much. But now that we're back out now looking for those opportunities again to try to get out there. We just recently had our first ever Swing for Schools golf tournament at Memphis National out in Caryville, and we raised over $40,000 that goes towards STEM initiatives throughout our community with all the organizations we support. And we recently just partnered with the 100 Black Men of Memphis, who provide a mentoring opportunity for students that may not have all they need from a resource perspective to be a success. And with this partnership with the 100 Black Men of Memphis, we're really targeting those underserved communities to make sure that they get all the resources that they need, to make sure that there's no excuse for them to have the same opportunity as somebody maybe in a better school district. And we just want to show them like there's life outside of what you may see in your community, what you may see in your neighborhood, and show them that, hey, there's opportunities even when you don't feel like you have what's afforded to you. Organizations such as SIM and 100 Black Men, we want to really bridge that gap to where you feel like you're on an even playing field.
Talk about what this means for our community, because it is opportunity and showing youth that there are opportunities right here in our own community. There's also to workforce development, economic development, when you look at the job creation side of this, and allowing also to the companies that are coming into Memphis to see, wait a second, there's tremendous talent homegrown right here in our community. That's a big economic development, talent attraction for these companies too. So in other words, there's a big ripple effect to what you're doing, both internal and external. Talk about kind of that view, especially, looking at it from the Transnetyx side. Hey, this is our talent pipeline.
Absolutely. So one of the things that's passionate to me is I've been in Memphis all my life, born and raised in Caryville. I've been mentoring youth, probably about 20 years now. I started out in the juvenile court system. And one of the things that I don't really like about the perception of Memphis is just it's all bad, right? And you don't really see a lot of positive things going on in the news media and things of that nature. So we want to kind of change that narrative to say, hey, to your point, there are some great things going on with some great organizations. We do have some great youth. We got a great school system, things of that nature, and kind of just pushing that to the forefront. And what we're really looking to do, because we have these, Sam has these IT leaders that are in these Fortune 500 companies. You guys all of us speak to what we're doing as an organization to bring awareness to that, to have some of these top organizations be a part of that. It just speaks volumes to showing our youth, to your point, hey, you don't have to go away. You can actually stay here with some of this homegrown talent. Let some of the organizations see you. We work very heavily with Southwest and the other universities here to say, hey, we want to keep kids here. We want to build up this community with our own local talent. I don't want to, if I have to, I will, but I don't want to outsource out of the country or, in another state when I got homegrown talent here that just hasn't really been identified. It hadn't been tapped into. Like I said, when you see these kids programming these robots and they're able to do everything you want them to do, I'm saying, well, you already know how to code then. So why don't you come be a part of my organization and learn about DNA and things of that nature that you could take, and so the ripple down effect is really good because it shines a light on the city and what we're doing as an organization, but it also highlights some of the greatness in some of these kids that we have that sometimes gets overshadowed by all the negativity.
On the business side, you mentioned there's a common language, there's a peer support, there's also too sharing when it comes to challenges and opportunities. You mentioned the cybersecurity and the security side and making sure that from a technology standpoint, your team is able to function at a high level. What are some of the challenges and opportunities on the business side that you see, not only with your business, but on the larger context of what you all are talking about on a regular basis?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I like about SIM is we're pretty transparent and we know things are going on. We know the war is going on in Ukraine, and typically that brings a lot of awareness to us about cybersecurity. So one of the good things I love about us sharing is those who are in these other fields, they may read something or they may get something. They may have a bigger department who can focus solely on the security side of the house. That information gets shared to all of us. And one thing we do is we share it with everybody else. And so when we bring in our kids in and we talk about, hey, it's important that you make sure you monitor what's on your cell phone. You can't just go out and do what you want to do and post all your information online, and then you're wondering why somebody got all your information. It's because you posted online. So we're able to share this information from a business perspective. And also, when you find a product that's good, and we're not in, like I said, in IT, we're not really in competition. We all use the same product, right? And so if you find a product that's working for you and it's been good for you, it's cost efficient for you, saved you money, then that information is also shared. So all of us are looking to help each other become a success. Like I said, there's no competition. Nobody's worried about anybody trying to take their job. And we really try to, express that with the kids. Like, hey, there's enough for everybody. That you don't have to be fighting and jostling over a few spots like you would typically do in a sports, arena, right? This is opportunity for everybody. If you want to do this, you can do this. You want to do that, you can do that. And everybody could be a success.
What's exciting to you? What sort of trend do you have your eye on when you look at the IT space, so to speak? Like what excites you about where things are headed?
So I'm old school. So I grew up in an era where there wasn't Google. Like my first project was Y2K when everybody thought the world was going to end, right? And so it's exciting to me, honestly, to see the advancement of technology and see, who would have thought, 20 years ago, we'd be driving electric vehicles and all the spaces around that. And the way social media does allow us to kind of, interact with people all across the world that you normally wouldn't been able to do with it. So I love seeing the advancement in the technology. And I know a lot of people may not agree with this, but I also love the fact that it's also brightened our minds of our young people. Man, they're so bright. I was with a group of at Memphis Business Academy a few weeks, and I didn't even know that they're teaching DNA in schools now, in high school. And I was like, that's amazing. And so to see that it's opened up the opportunity for their minds to explore and believe that they could, reach the limit. And back in the day, you had to be special to be, an astronaut and things of that nature. And you do now, right? But the opportunities are so much greater now than they were then. So that excites me, that it's like, you really pretty much nowadays can do whatever you want to do and be successful at it if you're willing to work hard for it. So that, the advancement in the technology, but also the advancement in the minds of our people and our youth is really exciting for me.
SIM Memphis has a strategy series. You mentioned the golf event. There's opportunities to start plugging in. So talk about the strategy series and the different ways the community can plug in.
Yes, it's the biggest single one-day IT executive event in Memphis. There's not any other like it. And typically on a non-COVID, we have pretty much 300 people that pack in Hilton Memphis, and it's for executives, right? So you get to come in and you get to network and you get to see presentations from vendors. We have great keynote speakers that come in, and it just is an opportunity to just come out and just get with your peers and kind of talk about successes, failures, whatever you want to kind of discuss. We have breakout sessions. We have local partnerships that's been amazing, over the years. And so it's a field trip for executives is what I like to call it, right? You go out there and you get to hang out with everybody, see your friends that you may not get a chance to see on a regular basis because we're all so busy. right, in our day-to-day work. And so we're really excited about what that does. It's a fundraiser for us as well to kind of pour back into the STEM projects that we do over the city. We typically present a couple of checks during that time so people can really see, hey, this is where your money is going. This is what the benefit of being a sponsor of this organization does for you. And then, like I said, it's a good opportunity for you to come and network and get some great information about what's worked for people, what's upcoming, and things of that nature. So we're excited about it. It's going to be October the 22nd this year, and it's going to be at Hilton Memphis. And it's a great opportunity for IT executives to come out and be a part of it.
We'll wrap up with website. Where do we go to learn more? Make sure we get it on the calendars, but where do we go to learn more and start plugging in?
So for strategy series, you can go to www.memphisstrategy.com. It has all the information there. And we really want all of our IT execs to come out and be a part of it. So whether you're working at FedEx or Memphis Grizzlies or International Paper or all these big name, organizations that are here in Memphis, we want to see you because this is our community. And we really feel like if we build up our community, it's just going to be great for everybody that's involved. And for those who want to get information about our Memphis chapter, it's www.chapter.simnet.org/Memphis/home. And you can get all the information you want to get from us. Follow me on LinkedIn at Antonio Taylor. Just look me up and connect with me. I connect with everybody and I talk to everybody. It's just how I was raised. And so I would love to hear from everybody and just get an opportunity to tell you more about what we're doing in SIM Memphis, as well as what we're doing with our partnerships across the city for our youth.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Antonio, thank you for all you do with Transnetyx and SIM Memphis and so much more. So thank you for all you do and for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I wish you so much success. Thanks a lot.